Put yourself in the scene. Imagine you're there. There's a business owner at home and he can't find his keys. The power's out, so it's dark in his house. And so what he does is he looks out the window and notices the streetlights are on. Light bulb goes off. He walks outside, goes under the streetlight, and starts digging through the ground and he's trying to see if he can find his keys. The light's there. And he's looking, and then a neighbor walking his dog is coming by and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "I lost my keys." And so the neighbor, nicely goes down and starts looking on the ground too. And the neighbor goes, "Well, where'd you lose them?" And the business owner goes, "Oh, I lost them inside my house." And the neighbor goes, "Well, why are you out here?" He's like, "Well, that's where the light's on." Now, this is a funny story, and I got this from Dr. Wayne Dyer, but I really like what it talks about. So how often do we do this in business, or how often do we do this in our own lives? We actually look outside of ourselves or outside of the problem to find a solution, when really if we just went into the house where the actual problem is, and oftentimes this is within ourselves, that's where the solution lies. Another great story that's talked about is, you just imagine you go to the doctor and you're having chest pain. And you've had this agonizing chest pain for several weeks and it's driving you nuts. It's keeping you up at night. It's just, you can't focus. This chest pain has just really, really got you. And so you talk to the doctor and he says, I know exactly what to do. He takes out his prescription pad and starts writing a prescription, peels the paper off and sets it down. Then he repeats that process 5 times. Now he has 5 prescriptions in front of him. Finally, you just go, "Hey, I know if I take these prescriptions, I'm going to be great." You reach for the prescriptions the doctor wrote and he says, No. This one's for your wife. This one's for your neighbor. This is for your colleague. This is for your mentor. And this is for your son. You're like, "Well, how's that going to help me?" It's the same idea. Those prescriptions wouldn't help you. You know why? Because it's outside of you and the problem still is within. Now, this is the exact same thing I talk to when I talk to business owners. As many of you know, I'm a business lifestyle coach. And that's just a fancy way of saying I help people live the life of their dreams, but I use the business as the vehicle because I've done it successfully myself. I help them live the life of their dreams through that. And so I have a client recently, and he was just like, "Doug, give me the tips and tactics. I want the shortcuts. I want to know exactly what I need to do. Do I need to do stand-up meetings? Do I need to scale my business? What do I need to do to be successful? You've done it before. Tell me." And what I told him was something very simple, and I'm going to share that with you. Nothing I tell you tactically is going to help you run your business successfully over the long haul until you work on your inner game first. Now, it took me a while to figure this out myself, and I've spent tons of time and tons of money and tons of resources to learn and to develop and work the inner game. And that's what I'm going to tell you. The best tip I can give you on your business is make sure you're working on your inner game. And where does that start? That starts with your 5 to thrive. That is a holistic process to make sure all the wheels on the bus, all the wheels on the successful journey that you're on are inflated fully. Now it's 5 wheels, I get it, but it's 5 because that's the holistic number. But the analogy of making sure everything's moving smoothly. If one part of those 5, your relationships, maybe it's your body, maybe it's your mind, your spirit, if one of those falters, the whole thing eventually crumbles. Just like a car running down the road, one tire, blows. Yeah, you can still move forward. It's going to be bumpy, but eventually the axle breaks down and that car just breaks down. Now that car is you or your business, for example. And that's why the inner game is so important. Don't be like the business guy who loses his keys in his house and then goes outside to try to find them. Don't do that. So what I want you to do is pull out your journal, grab your 5 to thrive, write it down, your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. And where in those 5 to thrive are you looking outside of yourself? Not for information. Information and mentorship and guidance is great. But where are you looking outside yourself for shortcuts, for tips, or just really things that aren't going to align you with your vision? Where are you looking for just tactics when you should be looking on your inner game? Now, I want you to write that down and then come up with an idea. Come up with a strategy. Come up with a strategy to actually help you find your car keys or fix your heart pain or whatever it is that you can actually work on that inner game and work on it systematically. This is a journey. This is not just a destination. This is something that you always do. That's why I have a coach. That's why I continue to take classes to keep bettering myself. That's also why we're offering the Author of Your Own Story University, where you'll have a structured system that you can go through each and every month, focusing on one topic so it can be hyper-focused and guided to continue you on your journey working on your inner game. Yeah, there's tactics. Yeah, there's things that get done. There are things that have worked that are better than others that I've found with communication in business, with meeting structures, with finance, whatever that means. Those things still get done. But really what gets to happen is your inner game. Now, if you're not a business owner, this still applies to you. This applies to you if you're a student. This applies to you if you're a stay-at-home father or mother or whatever's going on in your life. Take these same applications. I use business. It works for me. It works for my clients. And that's what I use to create that lifestyle for them. So I'll keep using those analogies, but take whatever analogy you want and apply it to your life. Because this is your story. You are the author of your own story. So you have the opportunity of writing into that story whatever you want. But I'm also can tell you, based on all the people that I've worked with, and I've worked with thousands of people over the years, that working on your inner game never hurts. It always pays dividends over time. There's no risk. You just work on yourself. You're bettering yourself. Sometimes there's financial or time obligations that come into that, and that's up for you to decide. But working on yourself can only pay dividends in the future. It can only help you on your path to becoming truly the author of your own story. That's it for me today. Make sure you go over to authorofyourownstory.com, sign up for the newsletter. We're having great tips and tricks going out there, and I love the feedback I'm getting from you. So thank you so much for those of you that reply and share with me your journey. It lights me up. It really helps me when I stand here and try to share with you on things that I found successful. Just knowing where you are and what steps and what part of the path that you're on in your journey. Keep it up. Keep inspiring others out there. And remember, go out and be the author of your own story.
Attention all business owners. Do you know how your website stacks up online against your competition? Do you know the current health of your website? Your business is a huge part of your life, and we want to help you succeed as much as possible. Get a free online marketing health report by going to authorofyourownstory.com/business-gift. And don't forget to be the author of your own story.